Hello everybody, welcome back for some StarCraft 2 action here at the HomeStory Cup 25. We have Protoss fan, aka uThermal, going up against SKillous in Group B. And usually we try to cover people on their way into the pro scene, but now we're covering somebody that's kind of on his way out, I suppose. uThermal's been retired for a little bit and focusing on juicy YouTube content, which most of you are probably already familiar with. But I think we're going to see a little bit of tryhard mark here at the HomeStory Cup Group B, because we have a Terran pick from Mr. uThermal himself. He kind of floats around either playing Terran or playing random. We've already seen him play Protoss as well in previous HomeStory Cups. He likes to meme around, that's for sure. Likes to off-race. Likes to complain about how bad his Zerg is. And this game is going for the double gas, going for a little bit of a Macarax, which is a barracks near your main base, but it's still kind of hidden. And you can easily float it over into the main and start a tech lab for Stim, for example. And we have a factory here in the front, so we can see Hellions, we can see Cyclones. Can go all kinds of ways, and we see a little probie here from SKillous already zooming around the map. Hasn't really seen anything of his opponent just yet. He's trying to make sure that there's no weird shenaniganry going on. Now, both players used to be part of Liquid. SKillous still is, and uThermal, I don't think he is anymore. SKillous not seeing this bunker just yet. He's probably not going to be happy about that. That bunker in his mineral line. The Reaper comes into the Naturator, starts attacking a pylon. A little weird. And the Adept does shovel over here, making sure that the attention is sternly on the Adept here. Boom, a Reaper goes into the bunker. And what do you do as an Adept against a bunker? Well, not much, really. Instantaneous robotics facility coming out. So perhaps with an Immortal, we can bust down that bunker fast enough. Might also be enough to have a couple Stalkers, but we see a shield battery coming out so that SKillous can start whittling away at this bunker slowly but surely. SCV, of course, can hide inside the bunker and then subsequently start repairing it as soon as the threat has gone. Look at that, a little bit of hull damage on the Adept already. It's mostly just super annoying. SKillous wants to keep these probes mining for the efficiency. And of course, you also get +1 range on your units if you're in a bunker. So take that in mind as well. On the other side of the map, oh, the SCV actually gets killed. The CC is halfway done. We get Cyclones from uThermal, and the bunker has been salvaged. The Reaper is in the main. The Cyclone is at the front. And the Reaper does confirm the Robo. We see a second gateway as well. And Mr. uThermal knows everything that is going on here. Oh, nice mine there, trying to dodge the Adept as soon as it would spawn. And how many Cyclones do we have? 2 Cyclones on the map right now. A starport is in production, and we have a reactor pumping out Mariners. And a 3rd command center is underway as well. 2 Stalkers and 2 Adepts moving across the map with a War Prism. And an Observer as a follow-up. So just a little light pressure from SKillous as he builds more probes. Wouldn't be surprised to see a 3rd at some point, or just more tech. Could be a Twilight Console, a couple more gates, and then a 3rd base. It's all up to SKillous' imagination. And look at that, 4 Stalkers now on deck. And oh my god, the Marines and the 2 Cyclones get a lot of damage in on that first Stalker. Marines tanked the damage so that Cyclones don't have to take it. These Marines don't have any upgrades just yet, so they aren't as potent as the Cyclones right now. We have a tank as well. Cyclones get a good lock-on onto the Stalkers. Adepts get into the main, but the Siege Tank does get a nice volley off. And both of those Adepts pretty low now, but it does kind of force uThermal back into his main. And now the 4 Stalker drop with the War Prism. They do one-shot SCVs, the 4 of them together. Whilst the other units are heading home from SKillous. 4 Stalkers in the main, only 3 of them now actually. Because the 4th one didn't drop because of the dead zone. that the War Prism was hanging over. And now we have a cheeky little recall. And I think uThermal saw that. I don't think it was because of our vision. But uThermal actually saw the recall out. So might be retreating the Cyclones sooner rather than later. Charge coming out here for SKillous. We have a Forge, and we have... I was about to say, we have armor. No. SKillous decides against its starts +1 attack. So what is going to be the composition of choice here for SKillous? Has a third gas, but no fourth. We do have his third, almost operational. The third command center is done for uThermal. He's adding on more gases, and we have Stim underway. And also +1 attack. With a little cute wall here at the front for uThermal. With the bunker and the engineering bay. And now he's trying to land his third base. And SKillous now has an Immortal out. Second Immortal is coming out as well. These Stalkers moving ahead to cover the natural here. Even the War Prism has been recruited. And you see all this vision from SKillous. If we go to SKillous's vision, he does have quite the vision right now. Even sending in an hallucination. He has these observers scattered around, and even his units. We have 2 pylons, we have the War Prism, we have the probe. SKillous is making sure that no unannounced visitor in a medevac or 2 can get into his base, and he's just quietly probing behind it. SKillous has an army here at uThermal's side of the map, and uThermal kind of turtling up here with his 2 tanks, 3 tanks even. But he's gonna have a third base. Stim is done. We don't have any medevacs yet, so we see uThermal kind of delaying his medevacs right now. He is stimming now, and the first tank is going to get targeted down by the Immortal. We get some auto turrets as well. SCVs try to get pulled off the line, but nice force fields. The SCVs can't really join the fight, and all of the tanks have been targeted down. A third Immortal comes in as well. And I don't know how much of a fan of Protoss he's going to be after this game number 1, because SKillous just does a pretty sharp attack. I don't know if this should have killed him, but uThermal does get killed here by SKillous's attack. How many gateways was that? 4 gateways only, yeah. This was just a poke, and I guess he got caught being really greedy, adding on his production a little late. Didn't have any of those medevacs ready. And SKillous just a little bit too sharp. Takes game number 1 versus uThermal. And would you believe it, we are here in Alcyone for game number 2. SKillous versus uThermal. And SKillous is up 1-0. uThermal has to really strap in here and, I mean, fight back. He kind of got trounced there in game number 1. Now we're in Alcyone, and I don't think anybody's surprised with Oceanborn being game 1, Alcyone being game 2. If there is to be a third game, I would bet money on that game being on Site Delta. I don't know if there's a third one, and if it's on Site Delta, but if there is one, I would be okay taking that bet. I feel like that's a EV positive bet. Okay, so we see uThermal going for a single gas this time around with the barracks in his wall. No cheeky Macarax into a bunker behind the natural with some Cyclones. That looked pretty strong, honestly, but didn't quite get uThermal where he wanted to be. And SKillous just kind of kicked him in the shins. And it's now up 1-0 here. And it's just doing the same thing, going for the Reaper wall again on this map as well. Sending out the probe, getting a little bit of that scouting information, and the SCV going to the low ground could still be a fake, and SKillous determines, nope. Let me block a little bit of this command center action. These goddamn probes, it's always the probes and this command center. Yes, it is a little off-center, but command centers are pretty OP in that they can fly. So it could just lift off and land in the right location. It's just more important to just get it started. Get the orbital as soon as possible. Get that energy accumulating, and then you can fly it over. Usually you don't have like a ton of SCVs mining here anyways. for the early portion of the game. And a second barracks coming out of uThermal here with a reactor. So looks to be like a bit of a push coming out from him, or a push-focused opener. So what I would expect if I see such an early second barracks, and relying on the Marines to defend third barracks even coming out. So the Cyclones have been cancelled. I want to hit my microphone, but they've been cancelled. No Cyclones for us. Just a bunker and a bunch of Marines. Interested to see if we're going to see a reactor and a tech lab or double tech lab. I would not be surprised to see double tech lab. But do you even have gas to ever get a factory in Starport then? From one gas? Yeah. When I say it like that, tech lab, I wouldn't be surprised to see this become a reactor. But we're going to see he's already kind of banking a little bit of gas, so it could still just be a second tech lab. I guess if you don't make any gas units, you just have too much gas. Yep, second tech lab comes out. Oop, the supply depots deny that adept from doing anything. And now let's look at SKillous' side of the map. We see Blink being chrono boosted out here, so no robo opener for SKillous right now. Just going for the Blink Stalkeru. And, you know, that's always fun for the Terran. Just get, like, 16 Blink Stalkers in your main base, killing all your add-ons. So much fun. Third gate being added on, and a robo facility being added on here for SKillous. It's, of course, nice to have a little observer action with your Stalkers. And these Marines being hidden in the main. And as you can see, the Adept Shade doesn't see enough to see both of these barracks. Marauders being added on. And we see a stim and combat shields. We'll be interested to see if there's going to be any type of like factory starport, or if this is just straight up a bio push. Maybe even pull the boys. Like this could just be a super duper all-in. And we see a factory now coming out with the second gas, so there might actually be a follow-up here. No engineering bay as of yet, and uThermal is showing a couple Marines, but there's like a double as big of an army. And now we see a little bit of a push out. This is kind of genius, honestly. Oh, the Shade is going to see everything. I don't know if SKillous saw it, but let's see what SKillous does if he actually saw the entire army of uThermal. Now he definitely sees it. And that's a lot of Mariners and some Marauders. We even see the concussive shells coming out, so the Marauder Slow is coming out as well. And these Marines and Marauders only have about one stim in them, so we see a couple units at the front being stimmed. We see an observer going towards the third base location, but there's no third command center down for uThermal, and all of the bio stims on in. We see a bunch of batteries and pylon being built at the natural, but uThermal, eyes on the prize, clicking down the third base, and now stims again, just trying to take as many Stalkers with him to the grave. Definitely getting a good amount of hull damage on these Stalkers. So if he fights that army later, going to be a little bit easier. We do see +1 coming up. We see a starport that is about to receive a reactor as well. So there is going to be a follow-up here for uThermal, and that is +1 with probably 4 medevacs. And that could signal his second move out. We see a double bunker layer being added on here for uThermal, and SKillous moving to the main. Now we saw SKillous go... Wait, was that SKillous versus Ryung? Or was that Mana? I think it was Mana versus Ryung. Like, he pulled Ryung apart, and... I mean, uThermal takes this very seriously, pulls all of the boys. I don't want to see any Blink Stalkers in my main base. Get out of here. I don't know why. I just manifested a different accent, but it just felt good. Had to go for it. And let's see, couple more gateways, 5 more gateways, and a forge being added on here for SKillous, and actually double expanding, double nexus. It's a little greedy. It's a little greedy versus Terran that just started his third base. And I mean, he does see it. So SKillous is aware that he is in fact a greedy boy. Let's see if he maynards over all of his probes into the gold base. I mean, we see Bly do that every time he takes the gold base, just to get the gold and minerals flowing ASAP. And we see something else ASAP. It's an attack from uThermal here. Or at least it's a little bit of a move out to deflect attention away from this double drop. I was like, oh, this army's a little small. What happened? Well, it's all over here, and we see the double drop coming up into the natural. Skill is not ready for it. We don't see an instant recall because there's still units here at the... also the natural. More of the center, I guess. But still, oh, the nuclear battery's committed. Instantaneously clicked down. Very nice job by uThermal. And he's still being annoying, kind of like a mosquito. Just clicking down probes left and right. And look at the probe deaths on this map. The probe count is ever lowering. And this BIOS is trading so well. The +1 attack, the stim, the medevacs, and just a trickle of units from SKillous that have to do with all of these units. We see all of these SCVs long distance mining here from uThermal. That's quite a few SCVs. I think OpenAI proved that you should have 24 out of 16 instead of the long distance mining. But it also mines out your natural faster. So this still gives you some income without depleting your natural as fast. Because I think that's one of the big things, is as soon as your main gets mined out like this, your income like plummets right away. It might not be like the most minerals, the fastest, but it does feel better. It's like more of an even curve instead of just a like sharp drop off. And I guess that's more human. It's kind of like a chess term, I suppose. Like, oh, this is a more human move. You know, that's what chess players say all the time, I feel like. Or like, oh, this is more of an engine move. This is more of a computer move. This isn't something humans would never play. Oh my god, uThermal doing the same thing. Pushing out on the map whilst doing a Doom drop, but now it's a 4 medevac drop. These medevac drops have been upgraded. They doubled. You slay 1 Hydra, 2 heads come back. Or was it 3? I don't know how many heads come back, but oh my god. SKillous does identify if there's that many units in my main, I can completely shut down everything that is in the middle of the map. And now the total recall coming up. And oh, the blink back actually kind of allowing uThermal to pick up his units here and save them. 1 medevac full of units does survive. And uThermal pushing out once again actually has a third base here. We do see a Warp Prism coming in. That's a SKillous classic, alright. Starts warping in 1 Zealot. That's not the performance we want to see. There we go. 4 more Zealots coming out. They've been warped in, and this Marauder's not happy to see all of those Zealots being warped in into his main base. They were not invited to the party. And now there's just, you know, both people are just harassing each other. All these Marauders and Marines can barely not deal with the charge slots. +1 on those charge slots as well. Those vicious Psy Blades, or I guess it's just the Star Wars lightsabers, right? 4th base is underway for uThermal now, but SKillous has had this gold base for quite a while. Like, how do you deal with this? +1 armor now done for uThermal. He has done a lot of probe damage though, so most of these minerals went back into building probes. But it's also just going into like a 9 Zealots at a time. Just the zombies walking across the map, trying to infest all of your settlements. And look at these Zealots catching the reinforcements when they're still spread out and not, well, plenty enough. Oh my god, oh, SKillous engaging into this choke. That was such a good engagement for uThermal. Skims away, or yeah, slays a couple of those Zealots. Now all the SCVs actually have to run from these hold position Zealots, and I mean a lot of forces from SKillous on the left top side of the map where no uThermal can be found. Now uThermal running into the gold base, not enough units here to defend, no recall available. It's still on cooldown for a little bit. The nuclear battery woefully ignored, and the complete annihilation of the gold base. It's just a fact now. It can be etched into the history books. It has been completed. Order 666. Oh no, that's a different movie. 14 probes did go down at the gold base, and look at the supply. uThermal clicking his buttons, producing the units, and even has Liberators on top of everything, and SKillous just playing Gateway Man here. Doesn't really have a follow-up. We see no Storm, no Colossi, and look at uThermal just pushing through the force fields. No third force field to keep out a part of the army. Guardian shield has been sniped, no more shield batteries, and I feel like SKillous just doesn't have the army supply to deal with this overwhelming bioforce from uThermal. Another nuclear battery instantaneously clicked down, and SKillous has to tap out. The 1-1, I mean, death push from uThermal, just too much to deal with from SKillous there, and you love to see it from our absolute RTS legend, or master, I think is what his Discord says. He takes game number 2 and so pushes SKillous, of all players, to game number 3. And game number 3, uThermal taking down SKillous in game number 2. Pretty convincingly, was back and forth, but he got the damage done with the drops, with the move outs. Nice deflection of attention. And, I mean, uThermal just took, I feel like, the momentum a little bit in that game on Alcyone. Now, I don't want to say that I said it, but, you know, I did kind of predict it. That the game, if a number 3 was going to happen, it wasn't Site Delta. You know, it's not like every best of 3 that we've seen for the last, like, 10 or 15 games has been on these 3 goddamn maps. Except for a couple. But it felt a little bit predictable. Now, I think I forgot. I usually want to try and do the call to action after game number 1 or before game number 2. So we're going to do a quick one. If you haven't already, and you are enjoying the StarCraft content, perhaps a little bit of Dotes in the future, I'm mostly focusing on StarCraft now. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. I want to get up to 500 subber-dubbers and even 1k at some point. Apparently that's when you get monetized, that's when you're a cool kid, and after that you don't really have to beg for them anymore. I mean, the high number is cool. High number is cool. But it's the first 1,000, you know, the real OGs. Those are the ones that count. The ones that count, I suppose. And with that out the way, we are here in game number 3. Everything is on the line, and pro gamers don't ever truly retire now, do they? Unless they do, I suppose. There's plenty of pro gamers that are long gone. You know, Nanoa, anybody? I mean, I guess Destiny, kind of. Idra, definitely. Huck, you know, like, people retire, alright. But some people just stick around. They're just... They can just kind of always come back, you know? What the MMA quote that comes back every time. You know, class is permanent, form is temporary. And oh my lord, uThermal going for the cheekiest 3rd command center known to man. This is a spirit build if I've ever seen one. And I don't know if your soul can take this. He's even making 2 Reapers after 3 Marines. That is a little weird. I don't know. Is he looking for a little bit of damage with those? Because 3 Marines, is that enough for 2 Adepts, or at least 1 Adept? I mean, if the supply depots are closed, it's probably going to be fine. This 3rd command center... Oh, we also get 3 barracks. I like this a lot. Because those 3 barracks really did well in game number 2. But now he gets a super early 3rd command center with it. I like that a lot. Now, SKillous going for the Robo first again, just like he did in game number 1. The Twilight, did it not go down because of the Stalker, or did he decide against it? Because we saw the image, right? We saw the Twilight. Oh my god, the double Reaper comes in. The Stalker was in position. We do get 1 probe kill, but I don't know if we're going to get many more. We do get a 2nd probe kill, and we get a scout. Probably not quite what he was looking for here, but I mean, still, he gets to see the Robo. He gets to see the lack of any other buildings. He gets to kill 2 probes. He gets to keep back this Adept. He keeps back the Stalker. Now the Reaper now does go down. He sees the gateway count. He sees 2 gateways and a War Prism. So this is very similar to what he defended in game number 1. Now in game number 1 he had a bunch of Cyclones to defend this, so it wasn't that difficult. But still, War Prism is so good. It's pseudo blink. I won't stop saying it because it's just true. And now we have pure bio here for uThermal. We do have a factory coming up. A little zoom out action here. Look at that. uThermal. Oh, he sees the... Yes, that's very good. Seeing the observer? That's juice. That juice. That's good. Like, it's so annoying when the Protoss can just see what you're doing. If it's just over here, it sees your bunker, it sees your barracks, it sees, like, units that are over here. You can just see the move out. Now, SKillous has to work his ass off to actually see the move out coming. And the Marines are taken out of the bunker there. I think 1, maybe 2 Marines went down. Only 1. And the SCVs are still alive. The 3rd Commencer is still running. And now a Starport is coming out. Do we have an engineering bay? We do not have any engineering bays on the map. And here we go. Immortals coming out. We see Charge and +1 coming out. So SKillous really looking at a repeat from game number 1. Whereas uThermal, I mean, he was also pretty greedy. Ooh, look at the Stalkers. You need 4 to 1-shot an SCV. But, you know, 2-shotting an SCV can be enough as well. Little cheeky recall here from SKillous. And we have another attack from uThermal with Stim. Look at this probe just out there to scout. Where is that army? I love that from SKillous, making sure that he knows exactly where this army is. And uThermal sees that army. He's like, nope. Nope. Or am I? Sees the War Prism. SKillous doing such a good job of seeing stuff. Dude, he did the same on Oceanborn. He just has units sprinkled around the map. He has a little pylon here. Sends out a probe, puts his War Prism forward without losing it. Cyan. Oh my lord, and now uThermal is retreating. And I guess that makes it this okay. He's starting 1-1 for his units as well. Double engineering bay this time around. In the back there, 3rd base is done, so uThermal seems to be focusing on a little bit of a later timing, or just wants to play the long game. Yeah, I don't know what your objective is as Terran versus Protoss, honestly. I feel like you're sometimes on a timer, but when you get to like Liberator, Ghost, couple Widow Mines, bunch of bio, suddenly it's kind of good. Like you're kind of okay with that. As long as the Protoss isn't, like, miles ahead. Miles away. Oh, another Bioforce moving across the middle of the map. Whilst there is another double drop coming. We've seen this move before, and we've seen it being very effective. Oh my god, can the Zealot see stuff? What a position, dude. The Zealot. Goated. Goated Zealot position. Oh, we see the force fields coming out. The medevacs do save most of these units. Only 1 Marauder going down. The double drop got spotted by that 1 pylon, and good players will be ready for any drop, as you can see, as soon as they spot it, like 1 screen before. So uThermal, just make sure that both of the pylons are dead, and then, you know, it's a 50-50. Did he move back, or is he going for the drop? Anyways, 20 SCVs going down. What the hell is happening here? Oh my god, the Zealots in the main base. Just completely annihilating uThermal here. That is crazy. He's not paying attention to those at all. And in the front, the Immortals, once again, dude, Immortals. What a unit. 50 SCVs just going down to these zombies in the main base. And this is a horror movie. It's a zombie movie, all right. Like, the moment the zombies are in your settlement, that one guy that got bitten, and then he's like, no, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. Before you know it, your whole settlement is overrun by those goddamn zomboids. And that was 55 SCVs in like 30 seconds max. For uThermal. There's 2 medevacs full of units across the map that were just kind of gate-kept by this small amount of units. Didn't help in the main, didn't help at the front, and I mean, it was just outnumbered everywhere. I don't know. Does this build just suck? Does going for the 3cc just suck? Is it just too hard to scale up your production? Because it's 2 times now that it felt like he just barely didn't have enough units. I mean, yeah, especially at the front. In the main, it was just some good moves from SKillous and some mismanagement by uThermal. Sneaking in there with a Ninja Prism. I'm pretty sure I named one of my videos from SKillous. The thumbnail has Ninja Prism in it, I think. Or it's the title. Because this guy just sneaks in. He just sneaks in on you. He's definitely a ninja with those. And, just, you know, just flies in, paper plane, does a little origami, and just the zombies just start flooding in. Guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this game, or best of 3 of StarCraft 2. Your sports washing free content channel is here for you. I hope you enjoyed. I hope to see you in the next one. Cheers. Be sure to like and subscribe and stuff.